regarding chromosomes. So before we discuss regarding the chromosomes in details, you need to learn regarding the interlink, that is interconnection between the DNA, chromatin and chromosome. Three of these terms, they are sometimes used interchangeably, but they have very important differences and they have to be understood so that the concept remains clear. And also, if you are very clear about these three terms, DNA, chromatin and chromosomes, it would be very easy for you to understand the cell division chapter as well. Okay, so let us start. See, DNA is a helical structure like this, and it is a double helical structure and it is a very long thread-like structure. As I have told you already, human DNA is around approximately 2.2 meters in length. Alright, so it is so long that to make it enter or make it remain inside the nucleus, which is so tiny, it has to be packaged. Otherwise, it cannot remain content inside the nucleus. Alright. So, we need to package the DNA then, isn't it? Now, DNA being negatively charged, we have to package it using some positively charged proteins. And those proteins are called histone proteins. Right? Of course, there are some non-histone proteins as well, which will help in the packaging of the DNA. But then mostly it is histone proteins which will be required for packaging of the DNA. Alright. So DNA, when gets packaged, say DNA has now started getting packaged, and as the DNA has started to get packaged, it will become more and more condensed. Isn't it? It will become more and more, its diameter may increase but its length will decrease, isn't it? So it will become condensed. Fine. But there is a problem here also. See, if the DNA, which is required to provide codes for making the proteins, isn't it? And proteins are required for all metabolic reactions, right? So every time, okay, whenever some metabolic reactions are happening inside the cell, the DNA has to provide the code, and using that code the ribosome has to make a protein which will act as an enzyme during the metabolic process. Alright, understood this much? The problem is, if the DNA is very tightly packed, in that case the DNA cannot open up easily, and then it cannot provide the codes to make a protein. Right? So in that case, the very need or the activity of the DNA itself is stopped. The functioning of the DNA itself is stopped, isn't it? So the DNA has to be packaged, fine, but it cannot be packaged so tightly. It has to be packaged loosely. Okay? It has to be packaged loosely so that whenever required, it can open up and its codes can be accessed. Understood? So this loosely packed DNA in an active, metabolically active cell, when the cell is very metabolically, active, it requires proteins very frequently. At that time, the DNA cannot remain too condensed. It has to remain loosely packed. And this loosely packed DNA is then called, this was DNA. So this loosely packed DNA is called chromatin. Okay, it is packaged but loosely packed so that it can open up whenever required, and it can give the codes to make a protein so that the cells can metabolically remain active. Okay, fine, this much is clear. Now suppose the cell decides that it has to divide now. Okay, whenever cell division occurs, whenever the cell has to divide, all the metabolic reactions in that cell will first of all stop. It will cease. Now no more metabolic reactions would occur. Fine. Now what would occur? Now the cell will completely devote itself to the process of division. It will no more metabolically remain active. So now that the cell does not require to remain, to undergo some metabolic reactions, now that the cell would not require so many proteins after all, right? Now the DNA, only during cell division, the DNA now finally can become very tightly packed. It can become highest, or it can become maximum condensed. When it becomes maximum condensed, it takes up a shape or a structure something like this. Okay? And we will then call it chromosome. Understood? DNA, a long thread-like structure having the codes to make proteins, but because it is so long, it has to be packaged first so that it can remain within the tiny nucleus. When the DNA starts getting packaged, it has to be packed by using some histone proteins, but it has to be loosely packed so that it can open up whenever required to give the codes for making proteins. So this loosely packed DNA in an actively metabolizing cell is called chromatin. Alright. Now finally, when the cell decides to undergo cell division, all metabolic reactions ceases. Alright. Now the cell does not require the codes to make any protein as such, and it is at that time that the DNA can become very much condensed, and this highest or the maximum condensed form of DNA is going to be known as chromosome. Understood? So chromosomes can be only observed during cell division. When otherwise, if a cell is not dividing and it is metabolically active, in such a cell the DNA would not remain in the form of chromosome. It would then remain in the form of chromatin. But if a cell is dividing, then the chromatin itself will become condensed and will form chromosomes. Is it clear? All of you have understood properly about the three terms? Because this is very important for you to understand the next chapter as well, cell division chapter as well. That's why do remember the very important links between DNA, chromatin and chromosome. Are you clear? Fine? Now, see, chromosome. It is highly condensed DNA observed during cell division, and it consists of two chromatids held at a point that's called centromere. Alright. So see, look at this structure here. In the chromosome, you can see two strands. Okay. So basically, when a cell decides to divide, it doubles up its cellular contents, because finally it has to give equal amount of substances to both the daughter cells, isn't it? So suppose this is the DNA, parental DNA, and this is another copy of the DNA that has doubled up, because the cell has now decided to divide and it has to now double up its contents. That's why this is, suppose, the parental DNA, and this strand is the copied DNA. Okay, another copy of the DNA that has replicated, that has doubled up now that the cell is dividing. So that's why every chromosome will have two strands. Both these strands individually are called chromatids, and both the chromatids, they will be held at a point, okay, at a point of constriction called primary constriction, and this primary constriction is also called centromere. Alright. Now, so basically every chromosome will have two chromatids and will be held together, both the chromatids will be held together at a centromere or primary constriction. Alright. Now, types of chromosome based on the position of the centromere. Okay. See, first is metacentric. In a metacentric chromosome, the centromere exactly remains at the center. Okay. Exactly, it will remain at the center so that it will divide the chromatids into two equal halves. Two equal halves. See here, centromere exactly at the center. Next, submetacentric. Submetacentric means now the centromere will be slightly away from the center, dividing the chromatids into two unequal halves. One is say two unequal arms. One is a long arm, one is a short arm. Okay, so centromere slightly away from the center is called submetacentric chromosome. Next, acrocentric. Acrocentric means the centromere is now too much away from the center, so that dividing the chromatids into two unequal halves again, and one is going to be a very short arm, another is going to be a very long arm. Why? Because the centromere is much more away, it is much at a distance from the center. Understood? So centromere far away from the center. Finally is telocentric. Telocentric means the centromere is exactly at one terminal end. Okay? At one end. Centromere is exactly at one end. Fine. So in that case we will call it a telocentric chromosome. Centromere at terminal end. Understood this? Fine. So these are the 4 types of chromosomes based on the position of the centromere. Finally, we have to discuss about a very unique form of a chromosome that is called a SAT chromosome. Alright? SAT chromosomes are those chromosomes which, apart from having a primary constriction or a centromere, they will have another constriction as well called secondary constriction. And beyond that secondary constriction remains a part of the DNA which is called satellite DNA. So those chromosomes which have a secondary constriction or which have satellite DNA are called SAT chromosomes or satellite chromosomes as in. Alright? SAT chromosomes. Now these SAT chromosomes, they sometimes act as a marker to a species. For example, suppose like human beings, they have 5 pairs of SAT chromosomes. So likewise, for every species they would remain fixed as a number. There will be the number of SAT chromosomes would remain fixed. Alright? So that's how they can remain or they can act as markers to a species. Understood? So that's all regarding chromosomes. I hope all of you are clear about today's class. In the next class, we'll start with a new topic or a new chapter, that is cell cycle and cell division.